Ooh, the jet ski is one clue.
Yeah, come close.
Hey.
Hi,
hey, John.
guys.
Finally. Nice to meet you.
This is weird.
Yeah.
Man. This is bloody weird.
How you doing?
How you going, mate?
Good. So
Yeah,
you're staying
yeah.
with Andrew, yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. You been on the water?
I've been twice in
Yeah.
4 days.
Wind's kind of light, huh?
It's light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just actually just set it right on the deck.
Is your partner? Hi, how are you?
Lola.
Hi, Lala. Sorry, I'm just doing a bit of filming. Hope you don't mind.
Oh God. Don't
Yeah.
in the house.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, the house is, it's like a ghost town here, a crack house. So it's, yeah, it is what it is for now.
Yeah. Now this is a spin out, dude, because obviously you would, well, you wouldn't know, but ever since I was, like, I'm 47, right? You're born
Older.
in 71. Yeah, about
71,
6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with windsurfing as a little kid. You know, all the posters on the wall, half of them JP.
Nice.
And also, you know, the KA 1111 video, VHS at that time,
Yeah.
absolutely wore the shit out of that
Yeah,
thing. Like,
there was some good movies back then, are those two, yeah. VHS, that really makes it sound way older than it is, right? VHS tapes.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy.
The images you saw was like Marco Angulo and Hawaii, blah, 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 blah. And then as an Aussie, you know, there's this Aussie guy that goes over there and kind of just blows up.
Right.
Like, that's just how, that was the impression I had, you know?
Yeah, that was a good time, you know, like that era that you're talking about, you know, like windsurfing was super popular, you know, it was Australia, Europe, you know, just like, you know, it was really popular. So it was a good time to be a windsurfer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're talking about like early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 91, 90, yeah, 89 through to like 2000. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had some amazing, iconic people at that time. Like you said, you had Mark Angulo, you know, Dave Kalama, you know, all these great guys that were, you know, all throughout all the magazines. Remember, they had you go down to the news agency in Australia and grab yourself a windsurfing magazine.
Exactly, Matt.
Flip through
Don't worry,
so
I've still got them at home.
You still got it, yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. So, but yeah, we still have a good core group of windsurfing fraternity, but it's nothing like it was. But yeah, no, still windsurfing. I love it. You know, it's such a dynamic sport, and it's you know, I'll never not windsurf for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down here, so today I'm doing
What's the name of your cat, JP?
Oh, George.
George.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my good mates who's a windsurfer is called George. He's gonna love that.
Oh yeah. That's great. Yeah. King George.
King George. So I was just been chatting with JP about a few things, but he's telling me that he's very health conscious, which is not a surprise because he's still going hard and been going hard for a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, got to do it. As we're getting older, like I was saying to you earlier, you know, you got to do what we can to, you know, as you get older, you got to work harder. Yeah, so more gym, you know, more stretching, more, better foods. So yeah, it's just it is what it is, right?
She did over 3 nights.
Is there a story with that boom on the wall, mate? Or?
No, not really. I was in England when I was a kid, probably about 20 years old, and I was doing some shop tours, and there was one guy that had a couple of those on the wall, and I said, hey, you know, can I buy one off you? So, yeah, I brought it back from England, so, but no story behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hydrogenated water, so basically there's more oxygen in the water. Obviously the more oxygen that you have, you know, the better it is to clear out all the free radicals and things like that. So basically that's what it does. You know, I'll show it to you. I'll put some water in there.
Like Sean and I, we had just eaten one night at the house next door, and that was challenging. You know.
So you reckon you just drink nothing but this now?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I'll mix it with some, you know, maybe some tea and stuff like that. But you can see the bubbles through there. I don't know if you can see that through the. Oh, you can. Yeah.
What's the water quality like out of the tap here?
It's okay. You know, it's definitely better than other places around the world. But you know, I buy the water from a place, a whole food place in town. Goes through a big system there, and so I buy it just from there. I don't do the tap water here. But the tap water in Hawaii is pretty good.
Dude, I'm impressed with your breakfast. This looks pretty bloody epic, man.
Yeah, I do it every morning. It's a big plate of vegetables, eggs, and then some avocado, and then I put where is it here? I'm really into broccoli sprouts right now, so I put a big chunk of broccoli sprouts on there, and
You've got, look at all the potions you've got.
oh
as
yeah, I've
well.
got more in the other drawers too back there. Yeah.
Put in 2 years ago.
Have you always been like health conscious of this stuff, or is it just something that's a...
Yeah, like when I was a kid, living with Nick Baker, I was we were housed together for 20 years basically when we were traveling, and we were always pretty health conscious. Yeah, I mean it's hard to eat really well when you're traveling a lot, as you're probably aware of.
Yeah.
But now so more than ever, I just try and cut as much sugar out of my diet and high protein. High protein and not too many carbs. I mean, I'll eat a bit of bread and things like that, but
To get a breakfast like that in Maui, you'd have to almost mortgage the house.
yeah, I know. Food is really expensive here on Maui too. Yeah, you go down to Whole Foods or one of the Whole Food places, and it's literally like $100 a bag. $100 a bag. Like on average. It's not cheap.
I discovered that.
Yeah, it's nice to eat.
A lot of people who have memories of your videos, I think, like it also because of the soundtrack on it.
Oh yeah, it had a great soundtrack.
Was-
We picked some really good. Actually, there's a lot of people that have told me that over the years that I love the soundtrack. So yeah, we did well picking some good tunes. That's for sure.
Because you were the first non-Hawaiian to win the Aloha. It was like 91.
Yeah, I think it was 90 maybe. 90 or 90.
90?
No, you're right. 90 or 91. I think
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, it was the O'Neill or it was the Aloha Classic. I can't remember which one.
Yeah. I think you beat Robbie Nash. I'm
Right.
pretty sure.
I think you're right.
I could be wrong. It was 91. But
Yep.
what, were you welcomed there back in those days, or were people a bit funny about it?
It was
or-
a little funny, yeah. Like back then, it was kind of cliquey because it was basically the Hawaiian guys that that ruled the conditions out here to keep us. So yeah, it was kind of a little strange, like a little skinny, young kid that came from Australia, no one had heard of, with these pintail, little tiny, kind of like an enlarged surfboard basically.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, who's this guy, sort of thing. So yeah, it was but once I started sailing and people could see that I could sail pretty good, people were pretty interested, but yeah, it's just like anything. It was a little cliquey little kind of environment to be a part of, but it was different to what it was now, that's for sure.
Back in those days, you'd have like videos that were like made by like Neil Pride or Gastra and stuff, and they have these compilations of people. But you, as far as I was aware, you were pretty much one of the first ones to just take a video of just the one sailor, promoting the one sailor.
Exactly, the like you said, the Gastra and the Neil Pride videos, the major manufacturers at that time. They'd put out a compilation video of slalom, course racing, wave sailing, and, with all the athletes. Yeah, I think what it was with that video, it was just solely on myself, is that I started doing the tour, when I was in '89, and I was doing the slalom as well, and I just didn't really enjoy it. I was so freaking slow, it was ridiculous.
Oh, really?
So I said to my dad, I said, shit, I'm really not very good in these other disciplines, which was of course course racing and slalom, like I mentioned. So Dad's just like, oh, well, just do wave performance. So basically I think I was one of the first guys to only do a single discipline event. So at that point I said to myself, well, if I'm only doing one discipline at these events and I'm not really doing the slalom and the course racing and traveling to these other locations, other competitions, I might as well do something different. So that's how we made the original KA 1111 video, was to sort of promote myself as a pure wave sail guy. So not a lot of people know that.
If I didn't windsurf, I'd race cars or motorcycles. Or... Here's Jason Polikow. Oh! Character. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid.
And Jason is like really one of the guys that come along and have really, with a really different style, some different maneuvers, taking all the maneuvers that everybody else does and just does them a little bit better. And he's into it, and he's a young kid, and he's going to be around a long time.
What a load of absolute bullshit. I'm pretty unprofessional, I go out there and I'm so, in a hurry to get out there, I never tie anything down. When I get out there, the mast track slides back, my boom drops down, my harness lines are too long. So that's why I look really uncoordinated in the water. you know, I'm sailing like this, so, you know, I've just got to practice slowing down on the beach, getting my equipment right.
That, yeah, and then after I had done that, I think the next people in line that copied that sort of one discipline event was, I'm pretty sure it was like Josh Stone.
It's unflippin' believable. That's hard. That is hard. They're all, Josh, come to JP, dude. It'll be great, right? They just say, Josh, come to JP. You have the entire workload on your ass. First thing I have to say is, this is our boat show. Where was Bullock out? I'll go to stay in, what was it? Oh, design boards.
Oh, I did. I Victor, did we know? Is he a lazy bastard?
He's the laziest bastard I ever met in my life. There's no question about it.
Overtalented, overpaid, lazy bastard.
It's true. Absolutely.
I'm an underpaid, overachieving fat bastard. Exactly. Underachieving,
Nick is just a lucky bastard.
He's just a lucky bastard. If you see this chick, he's just a lucky bastard.
And me, I'm just a bastard.
I heard rumors that she was hanging out with Tripod recently. Yeah. It's a good talk.
Good to get that.
Oh, who's Tripod? Bubba was a dog.
Okay, I'm gonna get lunch.
Okay, boys. Thanks, Victor.
I only got that on the freestyle, guys. So you got a train freestyle, Nick?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like the next guy that was of the same breed. He's just like, well, I'm not very good with the course racing and the slalom, and he did the same thing. And then of course, you know, he got very good at the freestyle as well when freestyle came around. So yeah, and then after that there was a whole spawn of people, you know, that sort of did that as well. Just doing a single or a double discipline, you know, events, and you know, and obviously nowadays, you know, it's completely separated, right? There's like the racing guys at one end, and then there's all the wave guys at another end, and they go to different places around the world, and it's just a normal thing. But back in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't like that.
Yeah. So like, how much of your success, especially in that early time, then was attributed to your dad's forethought?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, mum and dad. You know, obviously they used to video me a lot, and that's how I got a lot of the, you know, the edits to do that original movie. So yeah, they were very instrumental in my career, and they would travel around with me when I was really young, and you know, help me with the events. And Dad was helping to, you know, negotiate my contracts and things like that. So yeah, he was really good. You know, he did a lot of great stuff. He got me health insurance, which was good because, as you're probably aware, over the last, you know, 25 years, I've had a lot of broken bones from, you know, motorbike riding and various things like that. So
That's fourth gear flat out. I'll just get a video perspective.
Talk us through it.
This is where we started too, just for safety's sake. Right there. Right there. We've come back from there. We've come back to that. Jesus Christ. Now, Wendy, if you're watching this is the sort of shit that you just should not be doing. My mother would just have a heart attack. Oh my God.
Yeah, so he was instrumental on the business side, really good with doing contracts, pushing me, and then, you know, getting, you know, health insurance. Yeah, we're coming into Paia here. So the town hasn't changed that much actually over the last 30 years. I mean, 30 years ago it was pretty hardcore. You know, you come down here and there'd be a lot of like hardcore Hawaiian local guys at the drinking places, and you know, if you're out on the streets, little white guy, you'd probably most likely get beat up.
Yeah,
so it was pretty gnarly.
Did you have some problems yourself?
Yeah, I was never really out late at night, but yeah, some of my friends that used to go out and stuff like that, they would get in trouble for sure. But yeah, now it's good. Now it's, you know, it's a very great town and iconic town, and you know, it's pretty cool. That's a famous place right here. This one on the right with the blue. It's called Charlie's. It's closed now, but for, you know, 40 years it was a go-to spot for, you know, people that wanted to have a nice meal and drink. Yeah.
my earliest memories of knowing about you was opening up a magazine, seeing you on a wild wind sail, because that was that your first sales sponsor, or was it Rip Curl? I don't know, I'm a bit confused. Was it Wild Winds?
It was around the same time actually. So yeah, but the original was Wild Winds. They were a company out of Southeast Australia, Melbourne, and they were developing some of their sales and manufacturing in Australia and also in Fiji. So yeah, I got on the team really early. I think I was like maybe 16 or 17, and I was already, making pretty good money from them. And I was sponsored by Rip Curl for wetsuits, and then Quicksilver for clothing. Yeah. And then as time went on, then it basically. Then I joined Gastra, But at the time, with the Rip Curl and Wild Winds, Rip Curl were also doing a sale as well. So the original was actually Rip Curl Wind Series when I was like 13, 14, 15, and then at about 15 or 16 I stayed on Rip Curl equipment, but I switched to Wild Wind sails. So yeah, if you're going to ask me like the original, I'm sorry, it wasn't Wild Winds, it was Wind Series. Do you guys remember those sails? Brendan Morgan was on those. His father Pat Morgan was working for Rip Curl, and actually it's really funny, and you won't see this in the Rip Curl's history, but Rip Curl was like half of Rip Curl was a windsurfing shop back in the day. So Rip Curl used to produce booms, extensions, masts, sails, boards, everything.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was huge. And then as windsurfing sort of had a little decline, Rip Curl switched more back into the surfing realm. But yeah, it's really interesting. You talk to Rip Curl today, and you don't hear much about windsurfing being such a big part of Rip Curl in its history.
Yeah, I wonder if you visited the head office there in Torquay, where they have any photos.
There is some memorabilia. So when you do go down to the head office and you're walking down the hallway, there are some pictures of some of the windsurfing events that they sponsored, because we had the Bells event. Remember, we had the Pro Tour come to Torquay every year. So yeah, so there's some memorabilia there, but they don't blast it out too much, This is your keeper right here.
Yeah.
Lanes. I mean, it's a small day. You can see this wave gets really good here on a Kona swell right out here.
Man, I've seen the videos.
Yeah, when it gets big.
You and Robbie is a sick.
It's a great wave. We always look forward to it. Actually, December is usually a good month. So another month or two, we should get some pretty big days with some Kona winds out here.
Yeah, you've sailed out here a bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I know, right? It's been a lot of days out here. There's your keeper right there. He goes flat today, but.
It's pretty amazing to see the spot. I mean, you've been here for many years, but I've just rocked up here, and it's a bit surreal, because you realise it's the most famous windsurf beach in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I can imagine how you feel, because when I first came here, I was maybe 13, and I was obsessed like you were with windsurfing and magazines, and so I was on the same opinion. I got here, I was like, wow, check out these mountains and look at the beach, and everything was so surreal. It was just like, it was crazy. And then fast forward now 40 years, right? I'm still here.
You were sort of like a junior Aussie motocross champ or whatever. Like, that was kind of probably a thing, I imagine. And then, was it true that, I don't know, was it your parents or something that might have been a bit worried or something, that you were going to get into, just basically kill yourself on it or something? Right. Is that what kind of happened?
No, exactly. So as a little kid, I was riding motorbikes in Australia, and at the age of, I think I was about maybe 8 or 9 or 10, I'd won, the Australian Junior Championships. We were traveling all around Australia racing, and then started breaking a lot of bones, and my parents were like, okay, we've got to get you out of the sport and into something a little safer. So that's where windsurfing came into play, and I've never looked back since. I think it was a good decision. I think if I had kept motorbike riding, I probably would have broken a lot of bones.
The motorbikes are actually amazing. I've got a mate who's really into Supercross, and I'm not that into it, other than I like watching some clips here and there. But those guys are crazy athletes too, aren't they? Like, they're amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, it's incredible what they can do nowadays. I'll just pull into here.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they can do. Insane, absolutely insane.
So when you first started windsurfing, did it take you long to get sort of hooked on it, or like what was it like when you started? Were you just...
Yeah, I remember it distinctly. When I stopped motorbike riding, obviously I was super bummed with my parents, and I was looking for something else I could fill that void with. And what happened was one of my parents' friends were down in Torquay, and they used to race Hobie Cats every year down on Fisherman's Beach. And they had a son, and the son was windsurfing. So when the parents were out on their Hobie Cats...
I think Jason's tearing it a bit. I reckon he's really carving it up. I think he should be very pleased with the board he's got. I reckon those spins have helped the aerodynamic design of the board.
Right.
I think that he's really going to show Robbie Nash how to windsurf in future days.
And what do you think of those comments there, young Darren?
Well, just to add on to that, I'd like to say that in the last few weeks since I've seen Jason sailing, he's improved so much that I just can't believe it.
Yes, and Jason's high power jibes have really improved in the last days.
And his duck jibes, like he's...
You've got a few seconds left. Any last comments to wind it up, fellas?
Yeah, I think if he keeps at it, I think he'll be the best pushing the world championship.
This is Maliko right here. This is where it can get really big out here. When you got like those big jaws days, you can see out here to the right. You see that swell there? Like, you can see that little swell there. I mean, obviously there's nothing there today, but you can get an idea of when it gets really big. There's a huge big left that breaks out there. So when we see that huge left breaking out here, we know jaws is going to be really big. But yeah, it's not much today. Obviously, it's too small.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, now getting back to what I was saying, just trying to fill that void. So one day I went down and had to go on my friend's windsurfer. He had a big board, and I loved it because I was watching some of the better windsurfers that day. They were jumping those waves, and getting air, and so I was used to doing that on a motorbike, right? Yeah. So I was like, oh man, yeah, if I start this, I can start doing these jumps, and I can jump really high, So then, yeah, that was it. So the age of like maybe 12, I took up windsurfing, and then never looked back. Yeah, that was still little. So yeah, no, it was good. And then and then decided at a young age I wanted to move here. And
were you progressing quicker than average or something?
I think from the motorbike riding and just being and competing that I had this natural kind of temptation to want to like compete and be the best, from the motorbike days. So when I got into windsurfing, I don't know if I just had a talent. I mean, maybe, but I just did it every day, all day. I was the first one in the water, the last one out of the water, and that's the same going here in Hawaii. When I used to come over, we'd be the first ones out, and my dad would be waving me at like, at dark time out here, and he'd keep it like, come in. I wouldn't come in until the sun went down, and it was like that every day for 20 years. So I just put my time in, I guess.
It's sort of funny because even though I took it was a different path for me, but I still remember the early days, maybe the first few years of windsurfing as probably the most special, because it's when you just froth the hardest on it. Like you're just so... It's like, I can water start now, I can jive. Like, they're just these major milestones that just... You know what I mean? Like,
totally. I remember that distinctly, just as you said that, milestones of water starting. Actually, my dad, speaking of water starting, when we were young, and I was learning how to do that, it was a lake called Lake Monowari in southeast Australia. And my dad said, I'll give you 50 cents for every... There's a keeper then. Yeah. I'll give you 50 cents for every water start. So I went out there, and I must have done 200 water starts, because I wanted the money. So yeah, that was a good milestone from that one. It was good.
The one manoeuvre everyone is talking about at the moment in wave sailing is the double loop. Very few sailors have ever done one, let alone captured one on videotape. This is probably the first. It was recorded on home video by Jason's father while he was riding small surf at Torquay. How high up do you actually get, do you think?
On a windy day and a big swell and a cross-shore wind, you could, I think it's quite possible, like 60 feet easy.
It was the same with everything. Like, when back loops came in and push loops and all that stuff, it was just like, okay, we've got to get this done.
Yeah, mate. And then you ended up winning the world wave champ in 97 and 98, right? Like,
I think it was 90, 98, 99, 97. One of those two. One of those years. Yeah. But what let me down from winning more of those event or overalls was just my port tack. My port tack sailing was terrible.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'd win all the starboard tack events, and then I'd go to Gran Canaria, and I'd get last place.
I'm finding the exact same because I'm just used to sailing port tack in
WA.
Okay. And now I'm come here and I've just I can hardly sail. It's like,
I know, it's annoying, isn't it? And guys like Brasinho, and some of these other sailors that are they're just as good on both tacks. It's incredible. So
I mean
amazing.
that's what you need to do now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, you got to be versatile on both tacks. Yeah.
What do you reckon about I know they're doing stuff now that wasn't done back in the day, but I mean, if you had to compare today's windsurfing scene, or not just the scene, but just like the level and compared to how it was when you were at your peak, I mean, is there anything that's worth mentioning that's differences in, I don't know, like, because there was more windsurfers back then, so in a way, was it even a bit more competitive than it is today? Like today, everything's a lot more chilled, like, you know what I mean, like the vibe. Have you noticed that? Like how things are a bit more chill these days? Was it a bit more full on back in your day, you reckon? Or?
Because it was so popular and everyone wanted to, be the best, and there was just such a big community, right?
Yeah.
Of windsurfers and really good guys, like really great people, so there was that kind of, I think there was a bit more of a scene, like you're saying. But the level of windsurf today, obviously, it's very high, especially with the aerobatics, like the jumping and all the stuff they can do.
Yeah. The
wave riding, it definitely has gotten better as well, for sure. The level of what these guys are doing now is good. But if you look at, an old video, like let's say my old video, and then a new current video, as far as just wave sailing, there's still some. It's still okay, but the boys nowadays are still just amazing. Brasinho and I think he's probably the best all-round guy. And there's so many more good guys here. They really it's really cool to come down and watch them. Who keeper they just kill it. It's really cool to see.
You actually just said something that triggered, it made me think about something. But when I saw Mike Descasio at Strapper, and I think I mentioned something about, have you watched windsurfing lately? And he said, yeah, I have, but he said, I don't know if I like the turns as much because of the multi-fin boards and the whole thing. He said, obviously when you were doing it, well, I guess there was a lot of single fin action.
That's right.
And I remember in those videos, just the speed that you were able to get, and therefore being able to throw, major buckets, basically. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I know multi-fin boards are not going away anytime soon or anything like that, but I mean, do you have anything to mention about the fact going from that single fin to multi-fin? I mean, what do you reckon about all that?
If you look at today's boards from when we were riding the single fins back in the old days, I mean the level's still pretty good. Like we were doing, it's still pretty close. Like you're saying, like Mike Descasio was saying that he still likes the lines that were drawn from the single fins back in the days compared to nowadays with the multi fins. So I mean there's a couple of areas that you could say for sure, but as a whole, I think the guys are killing it out there. They're ripping it up. I mean we're still holding our own, 30 years ago now. So it's pretty good. Yeah, but the boys are so consistent with everything they do. Every wave, an air taka or a 360 or a combo of those on one wave. So it's pretty sick.
Yeah, no, they're doing stuff now that back when I was watching your videos, you wouldn't even know was possible.
No, that's right.
I mean? Like it's
exactly.
Wild winds, and then Gastra, and then that was that was super sick because I just remember the heat wave sail with the little flames. Good. I still want a sail with flames on it now. Can someone
that
make
was
it?
A huge good marketing thing they did. It was that everybody I remember with those heat waves, everybody wanted one of those sails, right?
Yeah.
They looked good. There was a great design. They worked well.
Yep.
It was incredible.
I don't know, and just the color. There was something about the color combos as well. Like I remember, your sails with the yellow and
pink.
yellow, pink. I don't know. It was just everything was just cool designs.
Yeah. And then Neil Pride too, you know, when I switched from Gastro to Neil Pride, they did very good marketing campaign too. They had the what was it called? They had the Zone. Remember that? The Zone. And that was a pretty cool sail as well. It had like the rainbow stripes in through the window.
Yeah.
And that was was another big hit for, you know, for them. You know, they sold a lot of those sails.
And obviously, Red Bull has been a pretty big sponsor of yours for quite a long time now, right?
I've been sponsored by them for forever, since I think maybe 90. I think I joined Red Bull 95. So it's been I don't know 27, 28 years.
Like do they say to you, well, you know, we'll sponsor you until a certain time, or, you know, I mean, how does it work with that kind of sponsorship?
Yeah, no, I haven't competed for a long time, so actually I think Red Bull get more out of advertising and promotion with us doing, like, you know, chasing those big waves, like going to Nazare, you know, all these, you know, big wave Jaws, all these places, rather than going to, say, a contest in Europe. So actually I think they, you know, they could see the little niche that we had, like, you know, which is what I have been doing for the last 20 years, is chasing the big waves. So for that sense, it was a perfect match between Red Bull and what I was doing, because, you know, Red Bull are a company that, you know, like to see extreme stuff, right? So so it worked out well, and they're a great company. And it's a shame that the owner died a couple of years ago. He was a really great guy, and it's amazing to see Red Bull, how far it's come from. When I joined the company, they were only selling the cans only in Austria. There was a little small building, and they were just selling in Austria. No other country around, even Europe, they were selling Red Bull. And look at it today. You know, it's crazy. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that company come so far in a relatively short amount of time.
Nick Baker seemed to be a good mate of yours. There was another guy called Grubby. What's his name again?
Yeah, Greg Alloway. That's what you do, though. You know, you come to Hawaii, and it's the people you surround yourself with that makes you who you are, right? And that's really important, you know.
Hey, champ! You guys gonna go sailing out there today? Yeah, it's going off, man. It's going off. Nick, come here, mate. Do you see it out there? Oh, so good. I gotta go.
One of the things I like to do is to sit on the rail here and watch the boys sail out of two keeper. Good to see all the boys rep.
I met Nick early on when I first came to Hawaii. He was like England's best guy, you know, and actually we competed together, and Nick was at an incredibly high level as well, you know, as I was as well. And we competed the first time, I think it was either Aloha or it was an O'Neill, and it was back then it was a junior world championship, and I think I beat Nick that year to win that. And then just from us being, you know, young, the same age, and he's from England, I'm from Australia, so, you know, kind of there's some, you know, kind of, you know, close. The Commonwealth, and then we just got really close and friendly. We were both completely addicted to windsurfing, and that's all we wanted to do. So and then he was out looking for a house, and I was looking to stay here too. So we just naturally meshed together, and I think it was really good for both of us. You know, we brought the best out of each other, and we ended up living with each other and traveling together for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. And if, like, do you have any spots around the world that, you know, you've got, you know, your top 3 spots?
My top 3 spots is pretty easy. I mean, I love Jaws, so Maui obviously would be one on my list. The second one would have to be, you know, Fiji. Cloudbreak is such an incredible wave. I love that spot. It's great when it's small, and it's great when it's big. And I think the third spot, I haven't been there as much as I should to, but when you would get a really classic day, would be, you know, Cape Verde. That day we had the contest there where Josh Angulo won that year. That was just like, that wave is just such a good windsurfing wave, you know. So I think they're my 3 best spots.
There was a video you did ages ago where you went to Nauru and you went to Midgies.
Oh, Midgies, that was fun.
Yeah, on the video you kind of said, that was one of the most sort of best windsurfing waves that you'd been on. I mean, obviously it's probably not the tack you like.
Yeah. Midgies is amazing. That spot is insane. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen anything like since then, really, but I think you'd have the right swell direction, right, to hit that, but otherwise it closes out, right?
It's, I mean, I sail Nauru a bit and you see the wave breaking up there, but it's pretty, it looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Oh, okay, see ya. Some neighbours of mine that live down the end of the street.
Oh, nice. Cloudbreak, I was there for the first time last year for the Fiji comp, and it is kind of pretty much the best wave in the world, isn't it?
If you had to pick one wave, that's the best. That overall, size, consistency, can hold 3 foot, can hold 30 feet. Yeah, it's Cloudbreak.
It's amazing,
hands
isn't it?
Hands down.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. It's the best wave on the planet.
Yeah. Do you ever get? I mean, look, it might be a silly question because you've had your reputation for charging big waves, but do you get very fearful, or how does it work with you? Do you just, the bigger the better, and you just get more excited, or do you kind of just how does it work?
No, most guys, we're all pretty scared out there for sure, but what we do, you kind of ease into it, you kind of build your confidence during the day. So when you're rigging up in the water, it's very nervous. You see these huge sets coming through and exploding on the impact zone, and we're scared, definitely. But I think that's a good thing, because if you weren't scared, you could get yourself into a pretty bad situation pretty quickly, right? So, and we just ease into it. And as the day goes on, you kind of get deeper and deeper, and you get more confident with your gear. You're sailing that day. When it's big, you always get those butterflies. It's the same with everybody, really. Yeah, just how you handle it, and But I think the deciding factor that makes it better to do it is that when you get one of those amazing rides on one of those huge waves, and even though you're really kind of scared and pumped up, the exhilaration you get from when you drive off into the channel, it's just amazing. You feel so good, and you just want to get another one, and that overpowers the fear pretty much.
You reckon you're just going to keep windsurfing till you can't windsurf anymore? Is that?
Yeah, I don't see any time soon me stopping windsurfing. I feel good. I'm fit, healthy. I'm just going to keep going, gearing up for this winter. Hopefully we'll get some good days.
Sick. We've returned back to your home.
Yes.
Was Andrew picking me up here? Or
oh shit! No, yeah, he's I'll take you back to Andrew.
Sorry, mate.
That's okay. No, he's right next door. Completely spaced. That way we can talk. We can talk a little more.
Did you like doing the tour stuff? Or was
I did. Yeah. I mean, it was fun. Like I said, I didn't really enjoy Europe too much. Europe was mainly port tack and kind of onshore conditions.
Yeah.
And I was more of a purist, like down the line, wave sailor.
Yeah,
I enjoyed going to places like Australia. We used to compete in Esperance.
Oh yeah, 98.
We used to compete in Fiji. I used to love that.
Yeah.
Japan had some good conditions sometimes. Obviously Hawaii, but kind of Europe was my Achilles heel. I kind of I did well sometimes, but most of the time not that great.
When you were at the height of your fame, were there just groupies and stuff just throwing themselves at you, or
back then we were so focused on competing and doing really well.
Oh really?
That we didn't go out. We
really?
Completely
because
focused.
Your videos, like the About Time video,
but
there's a section.
But that was later on.
2000s.
That was more so that was later 2000s. Where we got more relaxed. I think some of the events I wasn't doing. And then we get more until having a little bit of fun. But back in the day when I first started, it was we were young, It was just all about the competitions and competing and doing well.
So you're pretty focused, though.
Yeah, we had to be if you wanted to win.
Yeah, I guess so.
You can't you can't go out and then come and then the next day go and compete. It just just doesn't work. I mean, a lot of the sailors used to do that, right? But when we were competing, internationally on the world tour, we were always very focused. Myself and Nick Baker and the crew that we had around us. But
yeah. I mean, I'm impressed. Just meeting for the first time there and watching you prepare your meals and everything. It's obvious that you took your health and everything pretty seriously. I mean, it might be obvious because at the end of the day, to compete at a high level or chase big waves, you can't be sloppy and fat, can you?
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. When you get hammered by a big wave, let's say out of Piahi, then if your muscles aren't tight, you'll just rip them apart, and if you're not fit, you could easily drown. I mean, if you don't have a good lung capacity, if you've been out partying and drinking and doing that kind of thing, and then you expect to go up to Piahi the next day, it's just like you're gonna get yourself in trouble. So
and do you think, is this it for you, Maui? You reckon Maui's do you ever see yourself going back to Australia, mate, or to live, or do you think Maui? No,
I don't think so. It's what I like about Maui, apart from the water sports, is that it's just everyone's keen to exercise and do stuff, and there's so much great stuff to do here, and also I like to snowboard a lot. So for me to jump on a flight to go to Canada, it's like 5 hours, you know. And we're in Australia, it's, you know, it's a huge ordeal. So yeah, it's just a great central spot. You know, it's a very healthy island. You know, there's good food here to eat. People are fit and healthy. You know,
It suits you, doesn't it?
It just suits me. It suits my lifestyle. So I don't see myself, going back to Australia.
Yeah. As a keen windsurfer and, you know, someone who's frothing on it for a long time, I just want to say thanks so much for everything that you've done for the sport, for promoting it, all the videos you've done, all the, you know, just the whole thing, man, because
it's always nice to hear that, you know.
But I know how much effort it takes to.
Oh yeah.
Like, because not only are you, for you, you're trying to train and do everything, but you literally are running around like a headless chicken.
I know, right? Trying to get the shot, trying to settle up. I know.
And it all kind of looks easy when someone's sitting back watching a video, and you know that you're literally just stressing, trying to make everything
sometimes
work.
we'll shoot all day just to get like 2 or 3 shots, you know. It's just like,
you know, your influence, and it was actually a really quite a big part of my growing up, like just watching those videos. Like, everyone needs kind of like a hero.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, those videos were.
Like, who was your hero?
Those videos were inspired. I think probably Robbie Nash at the time. I think he was the inspiration. But yeah, no, watching those videos definitely inspired a lot of people, because they were good videos back then. The two, the About Time and the other ones. Yeah, I haven't seen them myself for years. I should just go.
I uploaded them onto YouTube.
Oh, I
digitized them. They're in the highest quality you could get.
Oh, nice. I'll go check them out. All right, man. All right, we'll see you down the beach, huh?
This has been a bucket list thing, man.
Oh, awesome. Hey, happy to help.
And I know people watching this will be stoked as well. So
anything else you need, just let me know if you need another little interview, or you know, you got time. You're here for a couple of weeks, right? Yeah.
Sick.
All right, Paul. Cool.
Right on. Thanks so much, dude.
See you guys. Thanks. I appreciate it. Happy to help.
See you, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.